picked up on the system and learning things, you know?
Yeah, a high football IQ guy. He's got a lot of skins on the wall. You know, I mean, he's been through a lot of battles. He's played in 30-something college football games. So mentally, maybe some terminology things are different for him, but he's done a lot of things that we do. It's just converting his mind to how we teach it and how we call it things. And very, very easy transitioning from a mental standpoint. Really, really high football IQ. 2 days ago at practice on Tuesday, he's calling stuff out the offense, getting ready to do. He's got a little bit of that, like, that Square's got from a football IQ standpoint. He's a smart kid, man. He's really, really smart. You know, there's a difference between understanding it in the classroom and applying it to the field, but that dude in the classroom is extremely impressive. I mean, he's a very sharp kid. He's busted his butt to get ready. I mean, he's been around the facility doing stuff on his own all the time. I mean, he'll walk by my office and like, hey man, what are you doing here? Like, he is just working his tail off, and he's got a great example of how to work by DeAndre Square. I mean, number 5, Golly, you just mimic what that guy does, and you're going to learn how to prepare.
John, that made me think. We saw him in the spring and the summertime, and it looked like he was attached to DeAndre's hip.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Is that a good indicator to you when you see a guy that's kind of willing to be a sponge?
Heck yeah, it is. Like, hey, if you got somebody in the room that knows how to do it the right way, do everything they do. Everything. Like, put your socks on how they put them on. You know what I mean? And so I've told Square, hey, we've got good young players. They're going to be really good. They need to learn how to be a college football player and how to be a linebacker, and he's teaching them. And obviously I'm teaching them too, but there's no leadership like peer leadership. I mean, you can't substitute that.
Do you focus those young guys at one spot, or can you kind of cross-train them already at both those insides?
A little bit of both. I like to get their cleats to the ground and their eyes set at a certain spot. Trevin's probably mentally just a little cleaner swinging at both right now. Tez has played one mainly, but is learning both. I tell the guys in the room, I'm coaching both guys at the same time in the film room. If you're not listening to their spot, then you're wasting an opportunity to get better. So you never know when you're going to be called upon to have to sub and play the other one. They work hand in hand. The physical demands of both are similar, obviously. There is some nuanced details to some of the technique and job description stuff that's different. Both are learning both spots. Trevin's probably repped both a little bit more than Tez. Tez has kind of had his cleat set, but throughout a practice, I try not to spin them, and you know, it's like being on a carousel and you get too many rotations and you get a little sick at it. I want their eyes to be clean, let them calm down, and let them start to see things the same.
How have you seen Jared Casey kind of do? We heard some positive things about him in the spring. How has he kind of carried that over?
Yeah, Jared's a guy that we've been cross-training. He's playing Mike and Will, has learned both, has invested a lot, you know. Same thing I was talking about with the young guys. There's a piece of, hey, I know it in the classroom. Now I have to think it fast on the field while the offense is moving and play with clean eyes and play with good feet and play with a base. Be ready to strike with power, be ready to punch out to my coverage. There's a lot of things that go on with it, and so much of it comes down to just getting reps and becoming more natural and more instinctive with what your assignments are. But Jared's taking big steps forward. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. A year ago this time, Jared, I was like, man, I don't know if this guy's ready. He's at a point now in his development where he is owning his outcomes and he's embracing his improvement daily, and you get better at that. So I'm proud of what he's doing, and can't wait to see him continue to grow.
What are some of the differences you look for in the Mike and the Will?
This day and age, they're almost, from a physical standpoint, they're so similar that not really. Like they both have coverage issues. They both have run fit issues. I want them all. They all kind of they got to be able to play both to a certain extent.
Old days, like it seemed like the Mike would be a guy. Maybe he wasn't very good in pass coverage.
Correct.
Can't afford that anymore.
I say to people all the time, there's no more days of having a Midwest Mike, which means he's, you know, real heavy and can't run, but he's physical as heck. Everybody's got to be able to run.
Do either of those spots have more of the communication responsibilities than your all specifically, or are they kind of?
They both got to be air traffic controllers. You know, they got to direct traffic all the time. So they wear the hat of being vocal, both of them. Obviously, I may pair guys up in a group and say, hey, I know this guy's going to be the handler, or maybe the guy's going to speak a little more. But sometimes I put two guys in that aren't ready to be the guy, and make somebody communicate, because you got to do it.
You see the downhill couple, he will make, you know, when he was making backwards and backfield,
Yeah, I've seen them all flash and make plays. You know, like we kind of referenced a minute ago. We don't have maybe a true just Midwest Mike type body that's physical in the box only player because the game has changed. But all those guys, man, I've seen DeAndre Square on Tuesday's practice. He was popping pads like you would have thought he was a first-year freshman trying to impress somebody. I mean, he ain't scared. He ain't backing down. He's not taking care of, oh, I'm old, I don't have to practice hard. That dude, and they had a gap scheme play, and a guard came around, and he freaking struck the guard, and you saw that dude's head go back. And you're like, hey, guys, this is a fourth-year player who started 2 years here, and he's practicing as hard as anybody on the field. This is how you practice. So they're all popping.
It seems like Luke Fulton kind of falls between where he's an older guy, but he's not really played in 2 years.
Yeah.
How do you approach his kind of progression right now?
That's a really good question. Luke's like as old as Square, but has played essentially no college football. So just get him confident and comfortable, and just worrying about his own development and not what else is going around him. You know, sometimes you can worry about too many things that you don't have control over. And he's doing a good job. I thought he had a good day today. I thought he got better today.
Thank you, Tom.
Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.